Welcome in to episode 220. And I am your host, Tim Bart.
And Sarah.
Didn't know she was going to make it. We are here for you on a Tuesday night here. And so hope you guys are having a great December evening here. And you got some Christmas shopping done this weekend. I'm going to need those later.
Oh, did you?
I said, hopefully they did.
Oh, hopefully they did.
You know who does our Christmas shopping?
Yes, I
do. Yes. I usually shop for her. She shops for everybody else.
That's how it is.
She enjoys it. I enjoy it too, but we go over it together. So I know what you guys are getting. So we go over it.
Anyway. I'm getting too.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit, as the title says there, we're going to talk about, does high inventory mean that sales are down? So there's a video that I watched and I really like his channel, Motor Feed, I think is what it's called. And we're going to talk about, he's got a video that went live about 7 days ago. It's got like a ton of views. So we're going to talk about it a little bit because the title really doesn't represent what the video is really about, but he basically goes in, talks about the highest days of inventory of any trucks. But that pretty much is almost every truck, exception for a few. But 5 of Ford's trucks, yes, I know we have 4 trucks, but 5, because he separated out the 250 and 350, is on their top 10. But we're going to talk about why having a lot of days of inventory isn't necessarily a negative thing, a bad thing. And we're going to talk about that and how we look at it and how we like to look at it. Like he actually had said is that if they'd made no more vehicles, this is how many months it would take 120 days to sell every vehicle according to them and their sales ranking. But what if something does happen? Because, that's the perspective of, well, maybe it doesn't. But we had something come up, we talked about, and that is that aluminum fire, which not necessarily didn't shut down, but we got a lot of events canceled. So when you think about it, right, you that could happen. That is a possibility. COVID happened, we've had, aluminum fire that's affected production. So there are things and supplies that can affect production. So having a good amount of supply is not a negative thing. And we'll talk about that and how our perspective is on that. And maybe talk about that in today's episode. But first, don't forget to make sure you are make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell notification. If you're new to the channel, make sure you select that all so you can be notified when we have another video. You can join. We do have membership available, and we do have 3 tiers listed in there. We will be deleting the bottom 2, the most expensive 2. So if you're going to join the membership, join that $199 live chat one, and that allows you to have some fun in a live chat, see, talk to other people and everything. But we won't have a lot of membership perks in the way of videos and such like that on this channel. But just so you're aware of that. Now, if you do need a downgrade or something, you can go into the membership tab and hit that upgrade, and that's going to allow you to downgrade. So if you are one of those top tiers, you want to go in and downgrade to that live chat because coming to January 1, we will be removing those other 2. And once we do, and if you're a member on one of those others and you haven't downgraded, it will kind of kick you out and you won't be a member anymore of the channel. So just so you're aware of that. Anyway, and join us over on Patreon. So Patreon, go to Ford Video Guy on Patreon. Link is in the description of this video, and join us over there. And we do have some tiers over there. So, we are recommending people that want to join and have fun in the live chat to become a member of the live chat here on YouTube, but then go on over and also as a part of the live chat, you will see videos earlier that other people will as well. Typically, whenever I have the video ready and I schedule it, that's when you'll see it. Sometimes it's 30 minutes before, sometimes it's up to an hour before. So you'll see that on those. And then over on Patreon, we do a lot walk. Our live stream will move over there maybe even this week. So we might double live stream. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll go over there for that. And then also, if you're a Coffee Time member and you want to see some Coffee Time videos, then click on that Coffee Time tier and go over there. You get 7 days to try it out on Patreon, which is something that I think is really cool. So pretty cool. And we do have a chat over there For anybody that's a member or even it's a free chat for any free access. If you want to go over there and just chat with everybody else that you meet throughout on a Tuesday night, you don't have to wait till next Tuesday night. Go in there and chat with people. And I think you can tag them too once they're in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll learn more about that. But we did start the chat as well on the
We have the Discord too, but I feel like the Patreon would be a better.
It's probably going to take over because you can post pictures and stuff like that. So anyway. All right. Well, how'd your weekend go? What else did you do?
Lebo and I went and saw the anniversary showing at AMC of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Lebo's a huge fan of Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
One of our favorite movies is The Hateful Eight. And so I had never seen Kill Bill, so it was really cool for me to get to experience that in theaters. And it's a double feature, so it's back to back.
Yeah.
With just a short intermission in between. So that was really fun.
There you go.
Mom had the boys.
Yep. Because I was out of town.
And then we got home. By the way, we have to drive to Manhattan. Our AMC doesn't do it here.
Yeah.
So we have to drive to Manhattan. Got back at 1 a.m. And she's like, your son's still awake. Oh, okay. She's like, yeah, he says he's waiting for you. I was like, okay. So I went over there and got him. He still was not asleep when I got home. And I drove around for 20 minutes. So.
He's got determination.
Yeah. He is. He has a very strong will, that one. Yep. You know, we've always said where there's a will, there's a way. Or there's a Theodore, there's a door, and he's going to open it. But I think he has more will than William does.
Yep. So this weekend, I went with the media team to Bronco Off Rodeo.
Yes.
Which you guys will see some of that footage tomorrow as part of their Built Wild Wednesday video. Because, you know, we wanted to go and kind of, it was really good for our media team that as we're putting out content about, you know, the Bronco Off Rodeo and how we think it's a great experience, we need to experience it ourselves. And so there's some people, 2 of us in our media team that had gone to an off rodeo because we had purchased a Bronco, but it was good for the rest of our media team. We didn't go as part of a media day. We did the full day, which is what you'd get if you're an owner. So we did the full day experience at the Nevada location. And it was great. You know, I haven't been to a location that I didn't think wasn't really a nice location, and they have a lot of fun trails there. I feel like it's a little smaller than some of the others. Of course, Moab, they go out on the actual trails out there in Moab. But you know, Texas is really big.
And you haven't really experienced Tennessee.
No, we haven't. So we don't know, you know,
because when we were there for the embargoed event, it was the short little trail.
It was basically their trails weren't set up at that point.
No. In fact, I think they said that they went out there and hacked that trail out.
Oh yeah,
the day before.
That was like, yeah. But yeah, so it was a great experience. So, you know, if you've checked out our social media, you've seen a few footage of that, and I know we're gonna do more stuff on video on Facebook, I think, and Instagram. So definitely follow us over there. Matt does a great job. Matt was in the lead Bronco with the trainers, and then. Myself and Damon rode with me, who does some of our graphic design and some of the things that we do, some of our logos and such. He's usually the one that creates those. And then some of our other ads for like our local like media and all that. And then Ashley and Derek were in the third Bronco. And so Derek drove the whole time and Ashley rode along, and Derek's our GM. And then Ashley is in charge. She's basically, I'm not sure what the title is, but she's in charge of all of our media, basically. So she works closely with Matt and what she wants done there and on Facebook and Instagram and such. So if somebody from McArthur responds, it's usually Ashley on a lot of the posts, Instagram and all that. But yeah, everybody had a great time. And so, but it was fun because after a little while, they had realized I'd gone to several of these off-roadios and I did enough off-roading as well. And that we were a dealer. So it was one of those, I think that the trainer wanted to see if he could stump me and he could teach me one thing that day. And
you're like, Melissa's got me pretty well taught over here.
I was like, pretty well got it down. And I've been to, this is my third full day experience in the sense, because we did a early dealer one was a full day, and I've been to 3 half days. And so I was like, well, yeah, you know, and plus as a dealer, I know probably more than most dealerships do. You guys know that.
Okay. But you just aren't any dealership employee.
No.
You are the Ford video guy that spends almost all your time studying the Bronco, studying the features of it, and going through it. Like,
so
you're not just any dealership employee.
there we talked about the goat modes, and I taught him something. So we talked about the goat modes. It was kind of funny because a quick little story here. We're going over the goat modes, and if you guys didn't know, there's actually 8 goat modes, but not every Bronco is going to get all 8.
Yeah.
Most of them will get anywhere from, I think any of them get to maybe 7, the Badlands, but 4 are on road for the most part. Slippery, I could say, yeah, it could be really, it's an on-road mode, and then 8 and 4 of them are off-road modes. And so those 4 on-road modes will, at the most, it'll keep you in too high, or for auto if you're in sport mode, or slippery, but it'll never go into 4 high. And I'm like, with the exception of those vehicles without the automatic 4-wheel drive. He's like, what do you mean? I said, when you go to slippery mode, you go into 4 high. And he goes, like, yes, you do. I have a Bronco that does not have the automatic 4-wheel drive system, so I know for a fact it does. And he goes, well, I learned something today. I'm like, well, I'm glad I can help out. And he goes, wow, you know your stuff. And I said, well, that's what I was pointing at Derek. I said, that's what this guy pays me to do, is to know this product, and know it inside and out and do videos on it. So it was fun. But thought he had me stumped on the goat modes and why, and that it's go over not any terrain. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it was any type. It's hyphenated. And like, do you know the story why? And I'm like, yeah, I had to do with the legalities of or whatever, but I didn't know exactly the whole story.
Yeah.
So he told me that, well, you can't. Lava's a terrain, and it doesn't go over lava. So I'm like, all right.
Lava's still
lawyers, I tell you.
Lava's still a type of terrain.
But the Bronco can't go over it, so they can't say any terrain. You have to say any type.
Yeah, but
any type, it's still, I don't know.
Lava's still a type.
But it was fun though. Fun times though, and of course off-road and everything else. And I was using left foot braking like early on, and they were like, "Oh, look at you, left foot braking!" They could tell it's left foot braking. I'm like, "Yeah," because they taught them that later in the day, and I was doing it like right off the bat. That's the area. Anyway, so he was talking about one pedal drive, and he said, I know you use left foot braking. Have you ever used the one pedal drive? I said, you have to have it to use it. And I got a 2.3 that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He's like, that makes sense. So,
right?
I'm like, you ain't got it. Left foot braking. But one pedal drive is pretty much the same thing as left foot braking. If you have a 2.7, you can use it that way. But it's a lot of fun. But we'll do a video tomorrow with some of the footage that I've was able to acquire, plus some of the other people on the team. And I'll probably use some of theirs as well. And we'll kind of do a video kind of in front of that wall and just kind of talk about the experience, and to remind people that if they buy a Bronco from us, we want to pay for you. We pay up to $1,000 out of your travel expenses, so flights, hotel, all that stuff, so you can go to this experience.
Yeah.
A lot of people went. Well, it was part of their vacation. So
yes.
Many of them went and said, hey, what are you going to go on your next vacation? They said, this is it. This is my vacation. And that's how they look at it. And they have to plan it out. It's not just something they can just pop in a car and, it's cheap.
That is
right?
your vacation. Like if Lebo and I wanted to go do that would be a vacation for us.
I mean, some people put a good down payment on a car. So it's like, yeah, I just bought a car and now I can't afford to go to the experience.
Exactly. I
I
can't afford a flight or to go and do this.
Right.
This is too expensive.
So anyway, but it was fun.
I do want to mention something. Is that a new shirt?
It is a new shirt. It is one of my Black Friday purchases.
I was going to say,
Bronco.
On camera, it looks like it's grays.
There's some greens and browns.
Yeah. Like it's greens and browns, but on camera it looks more gray than green.
Yeah,
but
our new camera's getting fixed. The camera that's going to go back into this. It's getting fixed, and hopefully we'll get it back soon, and we'll be able to go back to that camera.
But it's a forest green.
Yes.
I actually really like that.
Is it eruption green?
Just about.
The marsh
true
gray.
The true color is marsh gray. What's the darker green?
Well, the eruption greens.
Oh. Okay.
The only green we have.
Oh, okay.
I like that it's got 2 little like pen holders, so
you can put it on either side.
I can put my pen here and I can put my glasses over here. Anyway.
That one is more for like Tactical.
Oh yeah. Anyway, but we're gonna have some fun today's live stream. All right. Speaking of that, oh, don't forget, we have all kinds of links down below if you want any merch or anything. There are some. Oh, man,
Have you gotten my merch link in there?
Yes, it is in
Okay.
there. Do you know what is there deals going on right now? I can't remember.
I want to say yes.
I'll have to.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, you pull it up. But yeah, so Sarah and I use the same company for our merch site, so you can see those links are down below. McArthur has a merch site as well if you want some McArthur merch. Some of the stuff that we wear, a lot of the sales guys wear and such, vast and different things you can get on the McArthur merch site as well. So all three of those are in there. Link to my website as well, FordVideoGuyMedia.com. I noticed that it lets me want to try to purchase FordVideoGuy.com, but I got to pay $100 to somebody to get it. So.
Okay, so December 13th through the 17th, 20% off on 50 plus orders, and then the 26th is day after Christmas, 25% off.
Okay, there you
go. Oh, and the 29th through the 6th, 25% off everything.
Yep. All right. And then also down in the comments or in the description of this video, you also see our address, phone number, and all that kind of stuff. If you ever need to connect with us and you want to purchase something from us, there's phone numbers there to call the dealership. Our website's in there as well, but also links or some of different YouTube channels that we like to watch and favorite. It's in there, including All Terrain Nation. Your channel's in there. You just had 2 videos went live last week. Jess was in there, and Bridal Bronco. And then who was the other one that went live? I don't think.
That is Charlene Bauer.
Okay.
Charlene Bauer runs Bauer Media, so she helps those that are getting into off-road or motor racing, not just off-road, but motor racing in general. She helps them get their media going on. She helps them get partners and just helps them get started in that world of media.
Okay. So you can check those out on All Women Driven YouTube channel and also on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Find out an interesting fact about Rebel Rally watching that one that I didn't know until we started talking.
Yeah. You told me about that. And then also Ragnarcon's channel's in there. So I don't know if you go look on YouTube and notice it says, hey, you want to recap a review of your 2025. And it's that you as a viewer, right, of what channels you watch the most. So be curious where we rank in your channel watching. So Ragnarcon came up number 5 on the. Of course, sometimes I'll view videos from Law McArthur, but like Law McArthur, our channel was number 1, but then also because I'll usually view the video to share it, and then like All Terrain Nation was up there, and then Ragnarcon was up there. So anyway, it's kind of funny. But you can check those all out, and then some of the others are on there. Johnny's Car Care Reviews as well. Bird Dog over Off-Road as well. So anyway, so check out some of those. And there's some others down there too. So check those out. All right. But let's get into shout outs for the members. You ready for that?
I am. All right. We're going to start off with Brian. He was in there pretty early. Howdy. We have JB Mav. Oh, I didn't put his up there. Okay. Blue Feather. It's been unseasonably warm with clear blue skies here in Orange County, California. Today's Is It True topic should be informative.
Yeah, it's kind of like our main topic it's a combination of Is It True and What's on My Mind. Because the video kind of struck of, hey, we could talk about that.
Yeah, our point of view from a dealership.
Yeah.
All right, we have Mahathe. Hello, all. It's cold here. I'm over winter before it even starts. Yeah. We got Mike, 52G. Hello from the guy with nail in the sidewall of his tire.
Ooh.
Not fun.
Barb had a flat tire on Friday. I had to fix.
You had to go over there
before leaving town.
Do a rush job.
Yep. I did it. Put me on the pit crew for NASCAR.
We have Michael Morales. Hello, everyone. It was great to meet him when he came in. We have Ford Enthusiasts. Evening, everyone. Bronco Rob. Howdy, headed to Tennessee tomorrow for the Bring Your Own Bronco events on Thursday.
Oh, cool. You should tell us how that goes. That sounds like fun.
We have Mid-Coast Maine. Chili hello to everyone. We have Alan, who is celebrating 48 months as a member from rain-soaked Oregon.
There you go. Yeah, I knew he had actually switched over. I looked at his date. It was like 12/6 or something. So I knew it was coming up. So for his monthly, because I wanted to see if he had downgraded. I know he had downgraded his. So
yeah.
Anyway.
We have Ford Enthusiasts celebrating 32 months.
Cool.
And we got Ridgeview. We're just getting snow here in the western mountains of Maine.
Just getting snow. No big deal.
Thank you, McArthur. Can we get info on $30,000 electric truck soon?
We don't know yet.
You'll get the info when we get the info.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. It's called a Maverick. No. So yeah, I don't know. I know that they're working on that, and I think it's supposed to be a 27 model year vehicle. So it'll probably be more like this next summer coming up before we find anything out.
Yeah,
I would assume sometime around May, June would be my assumption. I have no for sure, yeah. But anyway, yep. So there you go.
Mike says your shirt doesn't look green on his Sony or laptop.
Yeah,
that's what mine looks like.
Yeah,
it's just the camera quality.
Yeah, we'll get that. You gotta come. Well, I don't know how long. It probably won't take them long to fix it.
No.
And we'll get it back from Canon. All right. Yep. All right. That it. We'll go into scheduling information if you want. All right. So scheduling information for this week. For those orders that are scheduling Thursday, December 11th, the Mustang 26 model year Mustang is scheduling for February. In fact, they're all for February production dates unless I tell you otherwise. And then they're doing cleanup scheduling on Mustang. So basically, they want to clean up any allocations that are there. Like we have a dark horse, so they're going to try to schedule our dark horse and that kind of thing. 26 Bronco Sport is not scheduling. 26 Bronco is scheduling. Big Ben with the Black Diamond package and Badlands without the Sasquatch package are orders that they're needing. So those would schedule real quickly. 26 Mach-E is scheduling this week as well. 26 Explorer is scheduling. It does say don't forget about that Active Comfort package on your active orders for dealers. Exhaust availability for Platinum Edition and ST line with the Street package and limited availability for active. 26 model year Expedition is scheduling as well. Exhausted availability for King Ranch version. The ebony painted aluminum wheel, which is included in the Stealth Performance package, as well as the tarnished dark metallic bright machine face aluminum wheel, which is included in the Platinum Ultimate package. The ebony bright machine face aluminum wheel, which is included in the driver's package. Those are the exhaust availability wheels. And then the Maverick is scheduling this for February as well. Again, just a reminder, the box cover soft roll-up and retractable, those are the dealer installed one, not the factory installed ones, are not scheduling right now. Engine block heater is not scheduling as well with the 2.0 liter. It's scheduling with the hybrid if you want it. Best availability is for the XL and XLT, hybrid or gas, because everything else is limited. Limited availability for the Tremor, the Lobo, and the Lariat version of those. So best chance to get scheduled is for XL or XLT. 26 Ranger is not scheduling this week. 26 Super D is scheduling. They'll be for January production dates, what they're scheduling for. Limited availability for the F450, the Lariat Premium package, as well as the Lariat Ultimate package. The 148-inch wheelbase, that's your Super Cab wheelbases for both F250 and F350, 2 and 4-wheel drive. Max recline seats is limited availability. The XLT with the bucket seats, The gooseneck fifth wheel hitch prep package also is limited availability. F-150 is scheduling for January and February production dates. The paint, again, a note like last week, paint color Argon Blue, Avalanche, and Ruby Red are no longer compatible with the STX 200B and 201A equipment groups, as well as Lariat 500A and XLT 300A. Now, it's also not available on 301 or 302A for XLT unless you include the chrome package or the black appearance package. Then they are available. Pro Access tailgate is mandatory on the King Ranch 600 and 601A, Platinum Plus 703A, and Platinum Base with the satin package, it says. And then also the Antimatter Blue is now available exclusively at Dearborn orders. Kansas City is not scheduled the 3.5 EcoBoost with the 50 state emissions until production week of 2.9. And then limited availability for the 5.0 liter engine. Lightning is not scheduling for until like February, and then Transit is scheduling this week. Limited availability for the medium rough passenger van. So there you go. There's that. Any questions on that?
No.
Nope. Okay. Nothing? All right.
You're just chatting away.
Dealer news updates. I don't need to talk about that one. This one here I think is kind of unusual. Actually, both of these are kind of unusual. But this first one is that Ford is coming out with a Ford truck bed camera that is available to purchase. It says starting on December 2nd as part of a soft launch. They're looking forward to a full launch and more details in February as part of Truck Month. So this camera is a smart security camera for the truck bed of eligible vehicles. So when paired with the Ford Security Package Plan, the Ford Bed Truck Camera provides real-time truck bed monitoring via the Ford app while the vehicle is parked and the owner is away. This hardware uses an ultra-wide 180-degree field of view and night vision to power HD remote live streaming, AI-powered intrusion monitoring and theft detection, and automatic over-the-air updates and cloud storage. So this is a camera that's purchased. It's $500. You can go and get it through Ford Accessories website, and can be purchased. You do have to have the Ford Security Package to be able to use this. But this in here will have remote live streaming, so you can access that camera at any time. So you can be sitting there and going, "Is there somebody messing with my bed? I can look at it right now." Intrusion alerts, so you can get real-time alerts sent directly to the Ford app. Video recording and playback. So if a threat is detected, the triggered event is automatically captured and stored in the cloud, which is kind of cool. And then unlimited LTE connectivity over the air updates as well. So that's pretty cool. So it does say in here, eligible vehicles are 24 to 26 model year F-Series trucks, excluding the Lightning and the F-650 and 750. So F-150s, 250s, 350s, 450s would get this. So there we go. That's kind of cool. So I was kind of looking it up, and it's a big camera. So not sure where it's placed in the vehicle, but there you go. So that's something coming along. Now this came out, a news alert came out just the other day. December 8th is when this came out. So it does say in here, please enroll in the new Ford Rewards Visa Signature Credit Card Program via the Ford Rewards Visa dealer page. So in partnership with Bread Financial, so it's a different company than the other one, Ford is bringing a new co-branded credit card, the Ford Rewards Visa Signature Credit Card, to market to drive Ford Rewards members to apply and become cardholders. I don't know if I'm in on this. Last one, I kind of got gypped on that. The Ford Rewards Visa brings increased points, earning power to customers. It does have points below, like what you can earn. So it does say in here that see below for the points earned values for the Rewards Visa. Ford Rewards Visa versus the prior FNBO credit card. Data from the previous credit card showed that cardholders had 50% more transactions at Ford dealers and spent 20% more per visit. Anyway, so you get a sign-up bonus. Actually, it does kind of compare to the other one versus the new one. So you'll get more points when you sign up. Anyway, and let's see here. Also, it's 6-time points with this card versus the other one was just 10 times. So you don't get as much, it looks like. But you do get more for grocery purchases, 6 times the points instead of 2 times. Yep, dining 6 times, automotive, fuel, and EV charging. So there you go. So Ford redesigned options. So there's going to be, last time there was a Ford General card that was blue. There was a Ford General card that was black, and then there was a Bronco one. I had a Bronco one.
Yep.
Now this time there's still the Bronco one, and there's still the Ford General blue one, but now there's going to be a Ford built for tough trucks one or a Mustang. Anyway, so there you go. Another rewards card. If you want to get another credit card out there, there you go. So yeah, thought that was interesting. So, all right. Any questions about that, or does anybody care?
It's not that they don't care. They're talking about other things right now.
All right. Well, I want to talk about something. Let's bring in the Ford Maverick people here. I don't know if you saw this either. Let me add this here. From the road.ford.com shared this, but pull this up. The Ford Maverick is named the 2026 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. How about that? Truck of the Year. You might ask, well, usually when they do these awards, it has to be a new redesign model or a refresh. So you might think, well, the 2026 model year isn't a refresh, 25 was. Well, actually, they're looking at last year. So they're looking at 25 model year. I know this is going into 26 model year, so some people are like confused, but it is looking at the 25 model year vehicles as part of that. So it does say with nearly 500,000 sales under the Maverick's belt, Ford is updating the hardware and software in ways that make it both a better truck and a friskier, more fun commuter. Motor Trend wrote, over 2 weeks of intensive truck testing, the Ford quickly distinguished itself amid our field of 2 new and 3 revised contenders against our 6 key criteria, which is performance of intended function, engineering excellence, advancement and design, efficiency, value, and safety. So there you go. So anyway, it kind of outlined, it kind of mentions the Ford the Pro Trailer back hitch assist. There is a technology that they added, and some other quotes in there as well. But there you go. So anyway, so there you go. Go to Motor Trend. You can check out the full article there. But they won, and I was curious. I wish I could see. Here's the write up. Let's pull that up. There's the Motor Trend write up of that. I'd love to know what the other competitors were. I don't need any ads. Get out of there. All right. Let's see here. What other vehicles? Of course, in 22, Ford Maverick lost out because that is when the Rivian R1T came out, the first ever all-electric crossing the Trans-Atlantic America Trail. So anyway, so that happened, but so they got it on the refresh for this year. So there you go. Let's see here. What other vehicles it says here? Nearly 500,000. They did mention, I didn't read that article about the Santa Cruz, and that the Ford Maverick sales triple the volume of the Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
So it means 3 times. Yeah. Anyway, you guys can, what 3 times triple is. Okay. Yeah, so it kind of talks about some of the technology it has from the F-150, like the backup assist and hitch assist. It talks about Lobo, right, which it got it first before the F-150 got it. Some of the other things, like I said, I wanted to see what other vehicles were in that. Chevy Silverado EV Trail Boss, And of course, oh wait. Yes, they actually put it on and some obstacles and stuff. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I haven't read the whole article, but I just saw that was posted. They mentioned the Lobo. There you go. What were the competitors? I'd love to know. Like, kind of goes through all the different core things that they rank it on right there. But there you go. All right, there you go. So, truck of the year right there. Pretty cool. So, really, that's only from the road. There actually are some other articles I want to highlight that actually came out, but we'll talk about that just a little bit as part of the On My Mind. So,
truck of the year gets voted on by a panel.
Somebody posted. I put it in the Facebook, and they said, "Well, that's just because the manufacturers that advertise the most on Motor Trend get the awards." I'm like, no, because Tesla's won the award and they've never advertised for Motor Trend.
So the awards that are given, I'm not sure if it's the Motor Trend specifically, but the awards that are given for truck of the year or those best in class and whatnot are voted on by a panel, and Sue Mead is on that panel. So last year this December when I talked to her, she had voted the year before. This year. So what they get to do is they get to try all the vehicles, drive them around a little bit, kind of like we see Jill doing.
Yeah.
And then they get to vote on which ones they think is best for each criteria.
Okay. There you go. All right. Any questions so far or anything you need to cover before we get into recalls?
I have one on a Maverick. The 24 Maverick hybrid. He has a 24 Maverick hybrid and it keeps frying batteries. He's on the third one since April.
There's actually a TSB out for that. The dealer should be able to
He
take care of
said he
that.
did the AC update and that didn't work.
But he needs to talk to the dealer because they need to look up recalls and such because there is a TSB for that if he doesn't have the updated. If he didn't have the updated battery.
Okay.
You're supposed to have the batteries replaced to the most recent updated battery.
So ask your dealer to look at recalls.
Yeah, look at recalls and tell them to look up for any TSBs that are on it too. Anyway, because we've had some other people had that same issue and they've gotten it resolved finally, I think. Anyway. All right. On to recalls. There's just only a couple here. And I think actually all the ones that are here are advanced notices. So this first one is safety recall 25SD4 for 25 model year F-150s, Expeditions, Navigator, Bronco, and Ranger vehicles. 673 vehicles affected by this, so not a lot. Just a lot of different models. And this in here, in all the affected vehicles, the electric brake booster may enter an unintended fault state while driving, resulting in an unexpected loss of brake boost while driving. The EBB, electric brake boost modular, will set diagnostic trouble code. It'll set its trouble code and enter fail-safe mode. The customer may experience increased stopping distance, a change in brake pedal feel, and increased pedal travel. The brake, anti-lock braking system, and electronic stability control cluster telltales will illuminate. Informational messages will be displayed in the instrument cluster, and an audible sound alert will sound. Increased stopping distance increases the risk of a crash. Anyway, so there you go. So this is an advanced notice. So the recall and the fix aren't out yet. So you have to wait for that if you're one of those people. And letters won't even go out yet. So anyway, and then the next one is also an advanced notice, safety recall 25 SD6 for 2020 to 2022 and 2025 model year Escapes equipped with a panoramic Vista roof. 108,688 vehicles are affected by this one, which kind of floors me that many had a panoramic Vista roof. Some of the affected vehicles, customers may experience partially or fully detached tailgate or liftgate hinge covers. Customers also may also hear wind noise and rattling noise while driving. A liftgate hinge cover detachment while driving can increase a road hazard or other road users, increasing the risk of a crash. So this in here, that is again, it's an advance notice, so the recall's not out yet for that. This next one is also an advance notice. Compliance recall 25C66 for 25 model year Navigators, 1,186. So the affected vehicles may not conform to the requirements specified by the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards for lamps, reflector devices, and associated equipment. The liftgate, reverse lamp assemblies, outer lenses, and/or weld track may have cracked in some of the affected vehicles. These cracks may result in a leak path, allowing water intrusion into the lamp assembly, leading to internal electronics failure over time and inoperative or blinkering backup lamp function. Vehicles with that can increase the risk of a crash. Again, that is advance notice, so no recall notes yet for that. And lastly, this is Customer Satisfaction Program 25N19 for 24 to 26 model year Corsairs and 25 to 26 model year Explorer and Aviators. And it says saying this in 242,592 vehicles affected by this. And this is a one-time repair, no cost to the windshield for 10 years of service or 150,000 miles from the warranty start date. So that's a long time. So it does say in here, some of the affected vehicles, visible air bubbles may form in the illuminated layer of the windshield, allowing windshield's edges when it is exposed to heat or sunlight. These air bubbles are not expected to affect driver's visibility. Driver assistance features that require the use of the forward-facing camera may potentially be impacted if snowflake air bubbles block the camera. When the camera functionality is not available, drivers will receive an instrument panel cluster message indicating the issue and that features are unavailable. So this in here is the letters are going to go out this week to those owners. There you go. That one is available. So there you go. Fixing that. All right. That's that. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns?
It is Space Tech's wife's birthday.
Oh.
He just got back from dinner, and he hopped in with us. So
All
I said, tell her to thank her for sharing him with us on her birthday.
There you go. All right. Nothing else other than our topic. Should we talk about it? No questions? Yeah. All right.
Let's get talking.
Okay. Okay, so there's a video that came out. Again, it's on Motor Feed, and I will share the link in the show notes. We'll put that in there when we're done here. I forgot to do that, so we'll get that added to the show notes here in just a second. In fact, let me go do that while we talk about this. And this video came out, and the title of the video is
Ford Shocks.
Where did it go?
It's right up there. You have third quarter pulled up. It's right there.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
All right. So it does. The title is called Ford Shocks Every Truck Buyer. CEO drops huge news. So, and doesn't actually talk about the news. I was kind of waiting for that.
Like what news have?
Yeah. And then how do they shock every truck buyer? I don't know. But what the focus on the video has to do with the vehicles and trucks that are sitting on dealer lots. So it was the top 10 vehicles, the top or actually the top 10 slowest selling vehicle. He's saying
Interesting.
slowest selling vehicles because he's saying it's the longest days of inventory in stock on dealer lots. That's not really necessarily the slowest selling vehicles. And so he even mentions in here that the fastest selling vehicle is like the Toyota or truck. And that is not true. The F-150 is the number one selling truck in the United States year to date. So that's totally not
Does
even
he mean
accurate.
fastest as in like as soon as it hits the lot, it gets sold?
Yeah, I think that's what he means is the slowest is the fastest turning is
Yes.
probably.
I think that's probably where he
To
went.
that fact. Yeah, it's probably where he's going because I think they're saying that their days of inventory of what they have in inventory is 45 days. So they're basically saying that they would be able to sell all their vehicles that they have on dealer lots within 45 days.
Okay.
Whereas on like the Ford, on one of them, like the Ford F-150 and all that, it's like longer than that. In fact, I took notes in here. So, because the F-150 was actually number 10 on his list because he had mentioned that the F-150 was, there was a 120-day supply on dealer lots. So according to his notes, like over 114,000 F-150s were sitting on dealer lots. And they sell about 42,000. In the last 45 days, they've sold 42,000 F-150s, and with the average selling price being $59,500 on the F-150 in general. So, kind of going through that. So the Ranger was number 8, 135-day supply on dealer lots with 22,000 vehicles sitting on dealer lots, and with an average selling of about over 7,300 in 45 days. And the average selling price of those are $43,400. I think I remember that. Maverick was number 7 on the list, saying that they had 136-day supply sitting on dealer lots. They're saying, according to this, there's 37,200 Mavericks sitting on lots, but in the last 45 days, they've sold over 12,000, which that's quite a bit. And then average selling price of 33,700. And then number 3 was the F. I didn't like this because they actually separated F-250 and 350. In my opinion,
Super Duty is one.
The Super Duty is one, but F-250 was number 3 with 145-day supply, with 46,000 Super Duties sitting on dealer lots, and in the last 45 days they sold 14,000 of those. So really, if they sell 14,000, there's 45. That's going to take 3 months to sell them. So they might have a 145-day supply, but at 14,000, take that times 3 months. That's right around 46,000. So they would sell them in 3 months. I don't know. 145 days is almost
30, 60, 90.
That's almost
120.
5 months.
Yeah, that's almost 5 months.
So I don't know where they get that from. Figure that. Average selling price on those is $71,000, like $200. And then the F-350 was 151-day supply, it said, with 31,000 sitting on dealer lots, and 9,200 sold in the last 45 days with the average selling price of $76,900. So, which, these are all great. These are all numbers, and he's great at, like I said, I've watched his videos. He's got 114,000 subscribers, and he does a great job. So I want to commend him on that and everything. But there's something that he is an individual. I don't think he works at a dealer, and maybe probably has some insight as a dealership or as a consumer. Of course he does. But as being a dealer, I can give you some insights on some of the things that what you're seeing here is that one of the things you'll notice is these Ford trucks has a lot more days supply than Toyota or whatever. So does that mean they don't sell as well? Well, no, that does not mean that. In fact, I think Ford's third quarter sales, we're going to share this link over here with you guys. That I know that I've went over with the members, but I think I probably even went over in here. I feel like I did. So according to this came out in October 1st. Ford's third quarter U.S. sales rise 8.2%. So sales rose, right? 7 consecutive months of sales growth. So day supply of inventory is up, but so is sales. So it kind of goes through that and kind of talks about different trucks, right? Total sales. So total pickup in vans, 313,652 is up 7.4%. Right? F Series, 620,580 sales year to date, is America's best-selling truck, up 12.7% year to date. And then electric vehicles talks about Expedition, some others, because he only talked about trucks. So like in there, truck sales are up third quarter,
Yeah.
right? And right, the nearest competitor, and it kind of goes through that. Maverick recorded a third quarter record of 34,848 sales. That's in 3-month time frame, right? Nearly 60% of the buyers are new to Ford. Year to date,
Wow.
Maverick sales is 120,904. That is
Are
up 10.9%. So all of these trucks he's talking about, Rangers not mentioned here, are up year over year in sales. So inventory is up,
Yeah.
but doesn't mean that they're not selling.
But
And
hasn't Ford said in the past that they are ramping up production in all of their factories?
yes,
They've ramped up Maverick production. They've ramped up the F-150 production.
Mhm.
All of their truck production has ramped up.
Yep.
So therefore, they saw that their vehicles were getting sold. Hey, I think we might need more stock available,
Yep.
more readily available. So let's make sure that we can provide that stock.
Yeah. So something as an inside note, when we're doing inventory, we do this every week, and at the beginning of every month, we check and look how many vehicles do we have in stock currently.
Yep.
How many vehicles are in transit that are coming in this current the month that we're going into, because we just did this like last week before we left. So how many do we have coming in December, and how many is coming in January? So we forecast out, and we always look at it and go, we kind of want a 3 to 4 month supply. So this month, if we sell this many vehicles, what's going to be left within this month, knowing what's coming in this month? So we want to always have 2 months supply in stock. At least. Sometimes we even think about 3 months out. And so that's what we look at. So here's an example for us, F-150. Our goal is to sell 40 F-150s a month, right? So 40 F-150s a month, right? How much day supply? Well, we currently have like 140 F-150s in stock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is
Didn't you quiz me on these numbers last week?
I don't know. I did ask you. So we have over about a 3 month supply.
Right.
Now, like we said earlier, something I didn't take note of is we did have an aluminum plant fire that happened and canceled a bunch of VINs.
Yes.
January, we don't have a lot of F-150s coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So is it good that we have a more than 3 month supply in stock?
Yeah.
It is, because that's going to carry us through January and February while we wait for those F-150s for 26. Now that they're able to produce more in January January, it's going to get us through until we can get the vehicles back in stock.
Yeah.
So you never know when something happens and all of a sudden they're not selling. You never know. COVID happens. We got through COVID. The chip shortage. Right. And so you just never know. So having a day supply is not a bad thing. And here's the other thing. Of the top, I think it was number one was Dodge. I think it was the Ram truck. It was their 3,500 truck. And then I think number 4 was the Ram's 250, basically equivalent truck. So the top 4 vehicles in there were Super Duties. And why is that? Because they need a lot of Super Duties. Because when you got a company that needs a Super Duty, you better have one in stock to sell them. Right?
Yes.
And so having a big supply is not a bad thing.
If you don't have it in stock, guess what? They're going somewhere else.
Especially December. If he did this video in March, this days in supply would probably look a lot different than it does right now. Yeah. We ramp up. Ford ramps up. There's a reason why they transitioned over on Super Duties early, right? They transitioned in the summer to 26 model year, because we've had 26 model years showing up for 7 months. What do businesses
do at the end of the year?
They buy cars.
Trucks. Because they look at their business, their taxes. They're like, okay, so we have this budget for write-offs. We need to spend this much.
Well, if they buy something, then that's an expense, right?
Yes.
That comes off your revenue for taxes, right?
Right. So you'll see farmers will do that. They'll go, hey,
my accountant said I need to buy a truck.
So they're out here buying a truck.
They're like, go buy something expensive. That's what they
So,
tell them.
I mean, we had a guy come in that he's retired, and he's like, my account said I needed to spend money.
Yep.
He came out here and bought $100,000 truck.
He's like, I need $100,000 truck or two. So, yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what happens. But it's, yeah, so high amount of like days in stock and inventory does not mean that these vehicles aren't selling.
No.
So when people, and that is is it true, right? Because I've heard people say this, man, your inventory, I see all this inventory out on dealer lots. They must not be selling. No, they're just making more than they did before.
They're making more, and dealers order more because the more vehicles you have available on your lot, the more likely that you're going to have what someone wants on hand to make the sale that day.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to talk about that too. Like he was talking about average selling price, right? Of $59,500 for F-150 and such like that, and some of these other prices. Well, here's the other thing that some dealers, this is based on what people are looking for out there. Now, if you, and it has to go with where you're at. So if you live in a metro area or something, it might be a lot different on where you're at on what, how much the vehicles are, right? So we're in rural farming area. We got a lot of farmers and other people that they are usually looking for a less expensive truck. So if you look, most of our F-150s on our lot are XLTs. They are not Lariats and Platinums. In fact, we just received like 4 Platinums that were ordered by the region, and we were like, oh, what happened here? We don't want these.
I saw, what did we get? An XL single cab that was from the region as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is this?
You never know. So, but they're the ones that push some of these higher expensive vehicles because no one's really ordering them. But
they need to build them.
Yeah. But what if you look on our lot, we have is a bunch of XLTs and a bunch of STXs. In fact, we went through our sales of our F-150s and we sold almost as well. Actually, we sold a lot of Raptors, but outside of Raptors, STX was our #1 selling trim level last month. So when you look at it, that's what we're selling a lot of. So we stock XLTs or STXs and XLTs. Well, if you look, we now have XLTs on our website, or we will tomorrow on our website for under $50,000. Right? So we're going to be $10,000 below that of a lot of our XLTs.
Of the average.
Right? And so, again, it has to be, it's up to the dealer because it's our job. Look at Maverick. So they're saying average cost is $33,700. So we do have a couple of Lariats that came in. We realized actually on the Maverick, Lariat is fast turning. So we're selling XLs and we're selling Lariats because Lariats, we get a Lariat in, it usually sells pretty fast.
So XL is cheap. But then a Lariat is fully equipped.
So that they average themselves out to 33,000, right? So, and there's a lot of people that buy XLTs. It's right in that 30,000 range, but we have a lot of XL Mavericks as well. So our lot, you're going to see a bunch of XLs and you'll see a couple of Lariats, but the Lariats won't be here very long. The Lariats are the fastest turning.
They don't sit.
So if you actually broke it, it says 136 days. They say that the Lariat trim level on average for Ford has said is turning within 14 days.
So, and it kind of gets balanced out by the XLs that sit a little bit longer.
Yep. So there you go. But anyway, and then Super Duties you kind of want to have, I will say Ranger, Ranger's one of those. You got to remember Ranger is more of a global vehicle that is more sold in Europe than it is in the United States. And so that's now, although they do have plants in Europe that make the ones for Europe, and the plant here is the ones that make them for here. But most of our top selling Ranger, of course, is a Raptor.
Because the Ranger is the full size in Europe.
Yes. So they don't have an F-150 in Europe. So anyway, a little maybe information from a dealer's perspective is that
his information isn't incorrect.
No.
It's actually good information. We're just expanding on it and how a dealer's viewpoint of this information comes about.
That having and showing that the days of inventory and saying that, hey, there's way too much vehicles on the dealer lots, 114,338. Well, let's, think about that. Like they said in this one article over here, what Ford sold in what I think in the third quarter alone. What was it? Here, pull that up. What they say in the third quarter. This is numbers just in the third quarter. So that is 3 months, right? And they say what 120-day supply is 4 months, right? So in 3 months, F Series sold 620. So if you added the F-150s,
no, that's year to date.
F Series. Oh, that's year to date. So it doesn't say. Oh, right here, 313,000 in 3 months. So it's over 100,000 a month
for pickups and vans.
Okay, so that would be your Super Duties and your F-150s and your, I guess it'd be your Rangers and Mavericks, all of them. So there you go.
But transit.
Yeah, in your transit, which doesn't really count.
Which
for that
then
many.
Brought their sales year to date to 620,000.
Yeah. But here you go. F Series sold
there you go.
207,000 in the third quarter.
There you go.
Right. So 207,000. So, and it'll be more in the fourth quarter.
Outselling its competitor by an estimated 170,000.
Right. I mean, Maverick 34,000. Right. And what are they? And they have 337,000 in inventory right now. They say on dealer lots. So according to that, that's one quarter. That's 1 quarter they sold. See, so we see these keep replenishing and going on and going through and everything else like that. So, yeah, and it's funny because the math doesn't add up to me. So if they have 136-day supply is what they say, right? That's clearly over 4 months. But if you do the math that they sell 12,000 a month, take it times 3, that's 36,000, which is what they have. They have 37,000 in inventory. So according to that, in 3 months they'd be out. Not 136 days. It'd be 90 days
for a 45-day span. Not even just a month.
Oh, I guess it is.
That's a month and a half.
Okay, so that's where my math is off. So if you take that 12 times 3, that would actually be your 150 days. So that's okay. So I guess that is about right. But I was figured a month. I always look at things in a month, not 45 days.
Right. Because who looks at things at 45-day increments?
I don't know. Anyway, but it's not necessarily a negative here. But
no.
For us, I mean, we have 330 vehicles in stock.
I think it was in the member live stream. You're like, so we went over numbers. How many F-150s do you think we have? And I was like, well, based on my knowledge of what our inventory is currently, which was about 350, and how many F-150s we like to have off of that number, I'd say 150 or like 143.
Yeah.
So like I can, knowing our background, knowing what we like to do, I can look at our full inventory number and go, okay, we probably have this many F-150s, this many Super Duties.
Yeah.
I can typically figure that out.
Yep. Anyway. Yep. So there's that. But yeah. So again, like you said, it's there was nothing wrong with the article in a sense that I just wanted to kind of like, clue people in, because I've heard other ones that said, there's so much vehicles on there lots. I mean, sales are down. No, sales aren't down.
I keep hearing that.
Production is up.
You know what I keep hearing? I keep hearing almost everything. Sales are down. That means sales are down. That means sales are down.
But it's specific to dealers, because look next door.
Oh yeah.
Do they have the inventory we have? No, they don't.
I mean,
right?
Even if you look at dealers, I know that there's one on the way to Junction. They don't have the inventory we have, and they're Ford.
Yep. And in our inventory is reflective of our sales volume.
Yes.
Right. You turn them, you earn them. So, right. So it's a turn and earn. So the more you sell of a certain vehicle, you earn as well. So we sell, our goal is 20 Mavericks this month. We got of course, last month, our number was a 2-month number, which is 30 Mavericks. So we got 30 Maverick allocation. So that's 2 months. That's 15, 20 a month. That's what we earn.
Yeah.
So, we have like 30 some Mavericks in stock. we have a lot. And so that, that's kind of what we have. But we finally are getting lariats. So I think
Yeah, I saw them.
we realized that lariats coming. And don't forget, on those Maverick lariats, the power slide rear window is optional. It is not standard equipment. We had some in there. I think that whoever ordered those, actually, I think it was the region that threw those in there. So they put them in there without power slide rear windows. But yeah, I have to remember that. But there you go. So it was kind of funny. Today they were putting in some Bronco orders because we have some allocations for this week. And they were putting in some big bins with the Black Diamond package because after going to Bronco off rodeo, they realized what you can do with the rear, that a rear locker is pretty important if you're off-roading, and that the only way you can get it is without going Sasquatch is Black Diamond package for the Big Bend. You can't even get that. You can't get a Black Diamond package on an Outer Banks because we had somebody that was there that didn't even have a rear locker.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's what I had told him. I'm like, because there were some sections where I'm like, I wanted to see how good I was, my off-roading skills, and to see if I didn't have to engage a locker, because really you should try not to have to engage your locker unless you need to.
Right.
And so
once you get good at off-roading, you start to lose the challenge. So then you start challenging yourself by removing technology.
Yeah. And so that's what I did in one section. They said this right here, probably just turn your rear locker on the rest of this hill area right here coming up. And they said, you can try it, and then if you get to where it slips, then you can then throw that locker in. And so I tried. I was the only one in the group that did. And so they said, hey, Bronco 2, I was Bronco 2. Did you get through it all right? And I said, yep, no rear locker. And and so then Derek got through it, and he says, yep, I did it in 2-wheel drive. Which he didn't. He had his rear locker on, but he's just like, oh, Mr. Bragger up there. But it was a challenge for me. I was like, I want to see if I can.
You're like, I've been through this off rodeo. Like, I've been through so many. I want a challenge going through this.
And the easiest way, like for me to do that, is that rear locker. It's going to put those wheels going together. And by using left foot braking, it kind of tricks the system, tricks it into thinking you kind of almost have a rear locker in a sense, because you're kind of slowing those wheels down and making them turn slower and giving you the low end, so that way you can get the grip and go up and not have to use the locker. So, I said that, there's some, Keaton doesn't have a rear locker. And I'm like, there's still, if you get really good at left foot braking, there's still a lot you can do without a rear locker. But there are situations that you're going to be in that there is no way you're going to get through that without a rear locker unless you have a winch. So I would say get a winch if you don't have a rear locker, because you might get in a situation where you'll get stuck because you're going to need those tires, because it's going to put for those of you who don't know, if your wheels are basically, it wants to put the power to the least resistance. So if you have a wheel off the ground, it's going to want to drive the power to that wheel and not give it to the other wheel that has the traction, because it's thinking, it's kind of like when you turn.
Yeah.
When you turn, you need that outside wheel to move faster. So it's going to give it more of that power to the outside, because it's going to, you're putting pressure on the inside. So it's going to ease it up, and it's going to let you come around that curve. So it doesn't give the traction, doesn't get the power to that wheel. And it's kind of that same thing. So when you're off-roading, though, you need to give it to equal power to both, so that tire that does have the traction gets to power you through. And left foot braking kind of can help with that. But that rear locker is invaluable.
You need to make Tim's guide to off-roading, where you
There's
go.
enough people that are smarter than I am out there.
Well, you go over the skills that but then give the science behind it, like you just did.
Maybe
Get Melissa as a guest.
I need to I got a couple videos possibly coming up for my Ford Video Guide channel. I still need to do that video of things that I have on my Bronco that are under $150 for people that want to buy gifts. In fact, Jeff's already done a thumbnail for me a long time ago, so I told him I was going to do the video, and I haven't done it. But also, you see what's on my desk over there?
Yeah, that's what I was asking you about.
Grab it.
I was like, is that what I think it is?
So, some of you know, some of you don't. I haven't done a video on this, but be very careful when you go to Ford Accessories, when you're purchasing things, because I messed up and I got on there and I saw the Pro Cow that was available for $400. I'm like, whoa, that's the best deal I've seen. Bam, clicked, purchased it, and found out I just purchased the voucher. I did not purchase the actual tool that you need the voucher for to give your Bronco the Pro Cow. So they would not give me a refund on it. And so then they sent me the voucher. And after a while, because they actually said that, yeah, we'll give you a refund on it. We didn't realize that. I said, because what I want to do is buy the whole kit like this, right? The Pro Cow kit. And so then they wouldn't, first they let me refund it, send it in, and then they sent it back to me. I'm like, wait a minute, why is this coming back? And they said, I don't know. We'll get someone involved and then we'll whatever. So then they told me no refund. That is a non-refundable item. It's a voucher. You probably used it already. I'm like, I haven't even opened this thing. So anyway, so they said no. So I'm like, I was so upset that they would not refund it that I finally just was like, you know what? That's fine, whatever. So I didn't even open the package for like a couple weeks. And then when I finally opened it up, I realized, remember, I have a 2.3 liter engine Bronco. They sent me the voucher for a 2.7 liter. So then I called them and said, okay, you won't refund it. That's fine. But can I get the correct one? You guys sent me the wrong one. A voucher for a 2.3 or a 2.7 instead of 2.3. Said, nope, you're past your 30 days. So I told the story to Blake, our aftermarket manager, and he goes, really? He goes, yeah, you can exchange it. And I said, no, I can't. They will not let me. So I gave him the information. He got a hold of his Ford Performance rep, and they sent a new voucher with the correct voucher. And I said, yeah. So I told Blake, I said, so now I need to do is I just need to get the tool, right? And he goes, yeah, you can just get the tool. He says, or you can just have the one back behind on my desk. So, so we have one here, Pro Cow for a 2.3 liter Bronco. And the reason he has this is that it's only good for 21 to 24 model year Broncos, and all of ours are 25s. Oh. So can't really use it on any of our Broncos that we have in stock because they're all 25s. So they won't work. That will not work on those. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and pay him his cost on this. So I'm going to get it at a good deal. And I gave him the voucher. So at some point he can buy if he can get a tool at some point, then he'd have a voucher and just get a tool. So I'll probably be putting the Pro Cow on. Some of you know, if you're members or Coffee Time members, I've talked about this actually for a while now. But I will probably be putting this on because I was actually anti-Ford Performance for a while because I was like, I was mad at them.
To take the rep to get that taken care of.
But I got to get it while it's still Ford Performance because January 2nd it goes to Ford Racing. So anyway, so we'll probably be doing a video on adding this to the Bronco. Anyway, so we'll see how it does. So with the cold air intake, ought to be kind of fun. So they just added. So our service, our fixed ops manager got a Ranger Raptor. Yeah. If you know that, he got the Pro Cow put on his. So Derek drove it. He's like, that makes a huge difference. So it gives like the Ranger Raptor and Bronco Raptor like 500 pound-feet of torque when you add the Pro Cow to it. So we have a special Bronco Raptor it's pretty close. Did you see it down there?
Yeah.
So we got a Bronco Raptor that is going to be special. So very special one. We'll tell you the code name at some point, but that is coming up. It won't be very long. We'll be able to share news on that special package we have on that. Probably not this Wednesday, but maybe even next Wednesday. So it'll be cool. And we're going to do something similar to that to the Ranger Raptor as well. So it's going to be something we're doing to all the Raptors. And if you've seen the last video we did last Friday, you have a clue of what we're doing to the Bronco Raptor and the Ranger Raptor. So that'll be fun. Anyway,
the members know. They got a clue.
Maybe I don't know if I talked about that.
They got a jump start.
The Coffee Time members do.
I don't know.
Coffee Time members get all the juicy
stuff. Do I
stuff.
know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should. Anyway,
I think I do.
All right.
Why not?
Okay. Anyway, all right. Any comments?
We have lots of comments, but I do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
I got this on my navigation, my navigation package is going to expire next month. What exactly is the navigation package? does it contain the little north and south arrow above the speedometer?
That's your compass. That's your compass. You don't lose that compass.
Okay.
You're going to lose your on-screen nav in the sense of being able to put in your, destination and all that. So you're going to lose. I mean, the navigation screen is still there. So like when I go off-roading, I can pull up the navigation screen. That's really cool because I can still see where I'm at and everything. So that's still there, but you lose like the destination. Basically, you got to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay or whatever, or Waze or whatever. So basically, you got to use those instead. So like that expired. Your mom liked that, so we went ahead and got that for a year. Here's a little fact: if you want to get that, it's like $80 a year, but it will tell you once you purchase it that you also have to have the premium connectivity package, which is $10 a month. So really, it's costing you $200 a year if that's the only thing that you're wanting. Because the connectivity package, there's nothing in that package that I care about. I mean, some people do. I don't care about any of it. I just need it for the nav. So when ours actually recently expired, so now we just use Android Auto. And I told your mom that. I'm like, well, I said usually the only time you need it is when we're driving together somewhere. So and I always use Android Auto anyway. So yeah, we just went to that. So yeah, that's how that's gonna work right there. So. But I know Space Tech said early Broncos, you can get better standard equipment. Well, not necessarily standard equipment, but standalone options.
Yes.
So you could add a rear locker to any of them. So I have a Big Ben where I added just a rear locker. I added auxiliary switches and LED signature lighting. You can't do that on a Bronco, on a Big Ben anymore. So mine's a mid package with 3 standalone options added to it. And it's great, I still believe, my opinion, every Bronco should come with a rear locker. How embarrassing would it be for Ford if somebody in a Bronco got stuck because they don't have a rear locker in a base or a Big Ben or an Outer Banks? It would just make them look ridiculous. Like, oh, look, my Jeep's better than yours in this and that. And I'm like, give them all rear locker. But the 4 Auto, though, isn't standard equipment, and it wasn't back then. I still have the regular 4x4 system. The 2 Auto was something that you got standard on Badlands, still standard on Badlands, but was something you saw. It was only available in the Sasquatches, and I think the 4 Auto was also on the Black Diamond back then too. But yes, I agree with you though. Some of the standalone options available and the way the equipment was at the beginning, so much superior. I have not upgraded. I have a 21, and I'm a person that will upgrade for new technology and new things, but I haven't seen anything yet that they put in a Bronco that makes me want to. At this point, I'm kind of paying mine off and plan to keep it, and then hope that in the next gen that I'll purchase one then. So I'm since waiting until next gen to get a second Bronco. I'll keep this one because this is my baby right now. So
you'll probably end up keeping that.
Old Blue. Called Old Blue. You watch Heartland?
Yes.
It's Old Blue.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
her name
yeah,
is Blue Jeans. Her name, pretty sure it's Blue Jeans.
The horse that the grandpa rides is Blue. He calls it Blue.
I'm thinking Miley Cyrus.
No.
Okay.
So,
got my universes crossed over there.
All right. What else?
Where are those Mavericks sitting places that don't normally sell?
Where are they sitting? I don't know.
Yeah.
There are dealers. Oh, wait until you guys see the prices. Tomorrow, of course. So Bronco Sport, Bronco, and Maverick gets $1,000 trade-in assistance. So if you have a trade-in, you get an extra $1,000 to purchase one of those 3 models. Those actually came out Friday, and so our prices will include that, and they'll include the financing. So every one of our Mavericks will show $2,000. It's all incentives. Incentive for us technically. If you finance a vehicle and you have a trade-in, you're $2,000 off. So all of ours, even our 26s, will have that because even the 26s have that trade-in assistance. But some of our Mavericks also get $1,000 if they're EcoBoost, so they're $3,000 off. And then we have, I think, our Lobos. We're down to just 2 Lobo sport trucks. You realize that?
I saw that.
And down to like 4 Lobos altogether.
Yeah,
that's it. And they're like they're silly cheap right now. They're XLT prices, which is crazy. The technology again on the Lobo to be XLT price, I think, is crazy. But yeah, pretty good deals there to be had. And yeah, so Broncos prices still weren't what they were last month, though.
No.
If you didn't jump on our Bronco prices and you got a Bronco, those were stupid deals on Broncos. But I don't know. So we'll see what's coming out, but don't know. I do know. I think something's might be coming up the 17th, around the 17th. There, some of our incentives expire on the 17th, so there might be something happening next week. So we'll see. We'll see if some rebates come out on what. But anyway, all right. Anything else? Any other comment? What other comments you have?
Those are the comments I had start.
Yeah. So, what's funny is, that guy had said that there was some of them been sitting on dealer lots for over a year. It's like, well, I don't know. Could be. There's some stupid dealers.
Well, do you remember how mach-e, the 23 build and price wasn't disappearing? And if it's not disappearing, that means that they still have an inventory somewhere.
Well, yeah, and they have a vast inventory because, I mean, if a dealer has one or two, they won't keep it.
But it was
for
like
them,
late 24 or 25, and we were like, who still has a 23? You should be out of 24s.
Yeah, I don't know. There you go. You know what else I got in? My cooler, my refrigerator came in. Right. So I unpacked it this morning. Pretty cool. It is taller. It's really deep, so got to pile on the stuff on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's all right. Anyway.
My hands are cold. My computer's hot.
But let's see. Anything else? I think that's it.
That's what I had.
All right. So we do have some inventory, a lot of price changes we got to do tonight. So we'll be doing that. But other than that, yeah. And then a Bronco video tomorrow from Bronco Off Rodeo with some footage and some things and some fun that we had, and we'll talk about our experience there. And then I've done a lot of videos on that. So it's like, but I was like talking about it because I do think Bronco Off Rodeo is a great way. There's a lot of people there that didn't know some things, didn't know, a lot. And so they really learned, the people learned a lot. Like they could just go through the morning class and have learned a lot without going out and, taking into practice. But I really like that because that philosophy of crawl, walk, run, on off rodeo for learning things. And I think that's, it's a great way. The owners that are getting Bronco Sports, Raptors, they're learning how to use their vehicles. And I think that's, I do think Bronco Off Rodeo is great. And I do want to make sure people are going to it and that they're utilizing that so it doesn't get shut down. You look at the Raptor, there's a Raptor school, Raptor Assault, I think is what it's called, and they have one location. Bronco Off Rodeo's got 5 locations. So I'm really surprised they opened a Tennessee location when they're not filling up the other 4. So I'm really surprised they're not trailing back into locations.
Isn't the Mustang?
The Mustang's got a school at Charlotte Speedway.
Right. They only have one.
Yeah, they only have one. Ranger Assault. And that one there used to be for not just for Mustang, but if you also got like an Edge ST or Explorer ST, you got to go to a school as well.
Okay.
So kind of a racing school. So it was also any of the ST line vehicles or the ST vehicles on ST line. So ST. Yeah, all the STs got to go to that, which, thinking about that, I'm like, Expedition, like any of your Tremors, they should get a school too. Like, I'd love to see the Tremors, Lobos, right? Mach-e needs a drift school. Come on now. Give the Mustang Mach-e a drift school. But
have Vaughn teach it.
Why not let them go to the Mustang thing, right? You can learn how to use it. But yeah, I do think all your trimmers, your expedition trimmers, they're about going off roading. So expedition trimmers, explorer trimmers, super duty trimmers, they should all get to go to like an off road school.
Yeah.
Not just Bronco. Like there's a Bronco one, but hey, they could use the same trails, but put a small class of I guess it would be hard because they're several different. Like, oh, do you have an expedition trimmer? We need to have some expeditions. You need to have some Mavericks that you need to have, right? So I get that, but I don't know. Anyway,
Crawl, walk, run, crawl with one pedal auto.
so question: do you put your parking brake on your vehicle?
For when?
Do you use your parking brake? That means no. She doesn't use it. Most people don't use their parking brake.
You didn't teach me to.
I know. When you brake and stop someplace, you put it in park, right? And you just let go of the brake.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely, if you're on a hill, you should use your parking brake.
Well, okay.
Right.
When I am in my father-in-law's driveway, I do because it's so steep. And I used to not, but Lebo, after a couple of times of getting there with me driving, he would actually reach over and initiate it for me. So it's now something that I do at Lee's house, but I don't do anywhere else. Kansas is, or our town is so flat.
Most people, if they're on a flat surface, they won't do it. I don't do it in our driveway and all that, but I think I need to start using it.
You know where I used to park? Yeah. When I first drove, I should have been putting my parking brake on.
Yeah.
Parking there.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't teach me. Do
you know the steps in putting it in there? We learned that at Brockhoff Radio. They went over it. So when you're in drive, to put your parking brake on, move it to neutral, let go, and let it settle. And then put your brake on, and then go ahead and put it in park.
But most of my extent of knowledge is what you guys taught me.
Yeah.
Or if I went out to the country road with Grandma. I don't listen to great grandma's teachings, but those are a little bit different times. Yes, I started that.
All right, you want to throw that up?
Yes. If this has already been discussed, my bad. I understand Ford is having a podcast tomorrow afternoon to discuss incentives for end-of-the-year sales push. Any details?
So that is for dealers. That's a dealer broadcast tomorrow. I did actually get a text from Rob Caffel about that. Not technically, I can get it from him. His marketing people do it and send it out to all the dealers. Anybody has signed up, but so we'll find out tomorrow. So they don't, believe it or not, they don't tell dealers nothing.
They don't tell us anything.
They don't give us details on anything because they know we're going to just blow it and they're going to spoil it for everybody else. So we'll find out tomorrow with everybody else. So no details.
Which way do you turn your wheels facing down a hill on a hill? We don't have enough hills here.
This used to be like if you're parked on a curb, what you do is you turn your wheel to where if it went backwards, it would catch on the curb, basically. So that way, because if the brake were to fail on a hill, then if your tires are straight, it's going to go straight down the hill.
Right.
But if they're turned towards the curb, then it'll turn to the curb and then typically stop.
So if you're face down, you would still want it face.
You'd want to turn left. Because if not, then it's going to steer out into the traffic, right? So basically, if you have it steering towards the curb, then when it backs up, it's going to go out into the street.
Now, I will say I did learn use your parking brake according to Mia Thermopolis from Princess Diaries. In San Francisco where they have the giant hills. I did learn that, but here in Salina we don't have hills. We don't have inclines to park on. Yeah. So the inclines that are there are typically streets that you don't park on the street. When I park in your grass, I do.
Do you put the parking brake on? Yep.
That's because I don't want the neighbor to get mad at
I
me.
use
if
it a
were to
lot
go-
when I use it a lot when I'm pulling the camper. So
Well, I don't want my car to roll down the hill and
I-
into the neighbor's
and-
house and
and
have
that's-
him mad at us.
It's really funny because when I'm with the camper, I do it every time when we stop someplace. I always put the parking brake on, but I don't do it normally otherwise, which is crazy. Unless I'm off-roading, I always do it. And when I got the camper, but I don't do it in city driving typically, especially when I'm flat. And if I was on a hill, I would do it, but which is
Who
crazy
said that
'cause I
they
should do
all
it
they
every
have
time.
to do is just keep it in drive and then open the door while the car's still on? On some models, that initiates the parking brake.
Well, not the parking brake. It puts it in park.
Well,
The parking brake is different than putting in a park.
Explorers, if you are, it puts into park and then puts on the parking brake. Explorers put on the parking brake automatically. Because there are times where I'm trying to line up the vehicle in the building and I still have it in drive, open the door so I can, or in reverse so I can back it up. And it flips me into park. Well, then I have to take my foot off the brake, put it back on, and I try and turn it, but it's in.
I think all those are
E-brake.
I think what's activated on those is the hold, the brake.
An auto hold?
The auto hold. I think that's what it's on. The auto hold is on, not
But it
parking
says
brake.
disengage emergency brake. I don't know. Next time we have one, I will record it for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Most vehicles don't because basically what you're gonna, if you put it in park, it's actually gonna go down to that gear, and then when you put it in park, it'll, if you ever hear it lunge forward,
Yeah,
and thunk. That's not good on your transmission.
that's not.
Anyway, alrighty.
I don't mean to do it. I'm trying to line up the vehicle and it throws it into park for me. It's like, whoa, hold on.
Yep.
Your car door's open and you're not in park.
Oh, and I hate that. Okay, so I really hate that feature. By the way, I mean I'm gonna put it in park, but so Broncos don't do that. So Bronco, you can leave it
I
in
love
drive.
Bronco for that.
You can open your door because I mean there's a lot of times, you know how often, like when we were doing the off rodeo, window down so that I can, look out so I can see my tire or whatever. Pop your door open because a lot of times I'll open the door so that I can look back at the tire when we're on the turntable and I'll see where I'm parked, right? You can do that in the Bronco. Bronco Sport will put it in the park, but then allow you to leave the door open and put it back in drive. There are some vehicles, though, Ford vehicles, where you have to shut the door to put it into drive.
Yeah.
So you'd think.
I hate those.
Okay, so you would think, in my opinion, they let you put it into drive and such when you're in a Bronco because they're thinking you're off-roading, right? And you would need to do that.
Trucks.
Jeep, did you know this? Jeep does not let you open the door and have it in drive. And it's an off-road vehicle. What I want to know is when you take the doors off, is there something you have to do to make that not work? Right? I don't know. These questions I have. Poor Jeep owners. They tell you what, there's so many times where we did the off-rodeo, like we went to that and we talked about sway bar disconnect. So, on Jeep that they have sway bar disconnect. Do you know how theirs works versus the Ford one? So on a Ford vehicle, if you're going along, you have a Badlands that has a sway bar disconnect, and you're in a situation where you're like this, and you're like, oh shoot, I wish I had sway bar disconnect so that I have better traction, right? It disconnects that so that you have better traction. You can do that under load. You could be sitting there with a wheel off the ground. You can hit that sway bar disconnect, and it's going to disconnect it under load and allow you to kind of center up. Okay, the Jeep, the only way you can do sway bar disconnect is you have to be down on level ground. So you basically have to do it before you go out on the trail.
So you can't even do it on a hill. You have to be on full.
Well, if it's flat. So
okay.
You could be on an uphill, but your four wheels have to be flat to disengage it, right? Also, now I'm sure maybe they've updated it recently, but on the Jeeps, like for the Ford Sasquatches, you have front and rear lockers. So because you've been off-roading, that front and rear locker can be engaged on its own separately. I don't have to have, if I want a rear locker or a front locker, I can engage a front locker without engaging the rear locker. Right. So on the Jeep, I don't know if you've looked in the Jeep recently, like some of the ones that we've traded for, there's a rear locker and there's a front and rear. There's not a front alone by itself. So theirs is you add the rear and then you have to add the front. So they won't even let you have a front locker without also having a rear locker. So trail turn assist is a functionality that Ford Bronco has. So you can turn around a thing, which I don't like to use because it does tear up the trail. But you can't, what it doesn't let you do is because you can't have the rear locker and trail turn assist, it would totally break the system because they do the polar opposites, right? So, but you can engage a front locker with the trail turn assist. So that way, if you're coming around, you need to turn, but also you need that front locker going up, like you're off-roading, then you can use the front locker along with the trail turn assist, turn, be able to go. There's one place where they had us do that there. I don't think I've ever would need that. And really, to be honest, I could get through that without needing it. But because you could always use trail turn assist, stop, disengage that, engage the rear locker, and go up if you needed to. But yeah, but of course, and then of course the Jeep doesn't have trail turn assist, but technology. But yeah, so anyway, they had us use that trail turn assist a lot, and I tried not to use it. That was my goal because it does tear up the trail. If you're treading lightly, you don't want to drag and dig a deep hole using trail turn assist, because when you're using it, it's basically breaking that rear tire. So what's that tire doing as you're trying to turn? It's skidding. What's that doing? That's pushing the dirt forward. And then it creates probably a hole for that next vehicle behind you.
Or if everyone's doing it, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So,
but yeah.
So Lebo and I were driving back from Manhattan, and we saw two vehicles in front of us. I was like, oh, look, there's a Jeep and a Bronco side by side, sharing the road together. And then we keep going, and I'm like, I don't ever remember that wheel on a Bronco. Like, I don't ever remember that wheel for Bronco. And then we get underneath some streetlights, and I finally see it. I finally see the hinges on the exterior of what I thought was a Bronco. They had the hard top on. And with the hard top, it really looked like a Bronco to me until the shadows. Because guess what? Their lock or their hinges were painted to match the body. They're painted in white. So it all blended in the dark. I couldn't see until we passed underneath some lights and the shadows hit. I was like, that's a Jeep. That was mean. Okay. Yep. No wonder I don't recognize that wheel. It's a Jeep.
Well, I usually can tell the difference between them by their lights. Their tail lights even are different.
I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah.
I was more.
Their headlights are different too, because Fords will be round with the line going in, whereas on the Jeeps it's outside.
Yeah. Well, and then he was like, yeah, Jeeps. I don't like Jeeps. And I was like, you owned a Jeep. He's like, yeah, because, I mean, who doesn't drive a Jeep? I was like, Bronco owners. He's like, but everyone just drove Jeep. I was like, yeah, because that's what was available. So we had to have that whole talk about, I was like, okay, Lebo, when you drove a Jeep, was Bronco available? Well, no. Yeah. Okay, so people drove Jeep out of necessity. That was the off-road vehicle. That was what you used. That was what was available. That's all that there was.
Well, yeah.
Because Bronco wasn't making their Ford wasn't making the Bronco. But you can
get a 4Runner, and then of course the Land Cruisers and all those too.
Yeah, but for like the top off.
Yes, if you wanted that type of experience, the top off, doors off type of experience, then yeah, it was Jeep.
That's what he's talking about, is that type of driving. And I was like, that's because it wasn't around. Now Broncos are almost dominating because Jeep hasn't had a competitor to match up against. And so now they do. And Broncos dominating because they're bringing so much to the table.
You know, a lot of when Bronco came out with the independent suspension, they said that was stupid, and that's not a 4-wheel drive, and a lot of hate there, and saying the Jeep's better because it doesn't have
Jeep was just salty.
Doesn't have the independent suspension.
Do you
know what's coming up for the Jeep, right? The next Jeep will they're already talking about it having an independent suspension.
Jeep was jealous. They knew the technology was better. They hadn't developed it yet because they didn't need to.
I'm like, okay, so go ride your Jeep and see how fun it is to drive, or not fun. Yeah. And then get in a Bronco and see how much smoother that thing drives.
Yeah.
With the independent suspension on the road, it's going to drive more like an SUV and not like an off-road vehicle that'll just shake you to death.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, but I drove a Jeep, a Gladiator.
I told
I'm
him
home,
about that.
Home one time, and I turned around about a mile in. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I told Lebo about that. I
Uh-uh.
was like, have you heard Dad's story about the time he drove a Jeep? He's like, no. I was like, he went to take it home. He got to Schilling and turn around.
Nope. I was done. I was like, this thing is not fun to drive. So anyway,
Meanwhile, I learned how to drive stick in the Jeep because that's what I had available to me.
Yep. Anyway, all right. But if you're looking for something, a vehicle with a rear locker Bronco, we have that one out there with the Ford Custom Garage package. There you go. Anyway,
Also, I think we have a couple of Raptors.
We had our first 60th anniversary Bronco got scheduled last week.
Ooh.
Yep. It's for a customer. So that's cool. So we'll see how many of those we end up getting because we know every dealer is supposed to get at least one. So we'll see if we get any more scheduled. But I think that one got scheduled. And I don't think we had anybody else that had ordered one, but there you go. They got scheduled last week. I think for February production, if I remember right. So anyway. All right. Anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so.
We're just chit-chatting at this point.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, folks, thanks for joining us tonight. And hopefully it was fun, entertaining, or informative at some point. And yeah, always just appreciate you guys joining us. So anyway. All right. Members, we are going to do a live stream this week. Be looking at your Patreon notifications because we might be doing it over on Patreon this week. So we'll just see. So, yep. Yes, it is. Time to be kind. I've seen actually, where was I? At some place, and it said, "Be kind," and then I saw something like, "We need to be kind to ourselves," and like all that. I'm like, yeah.
So the be kind to ourselves and the be kind in general are trending, but you have more added to it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it. Ready. All right. Well, thanks for watching. And until the next video, stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourself.
We'll see you guys later.